Hello, how's it going? This is Ronaldo Hernandez, and today I want to talk to you about me dealing with diarrhea on carnivore, and you could say like a two week update on the diet as well. So, for like the first week on carnivore, I was doing okay. I wasn't really like dealing with diarrhea yet. However, though, I was having trouble eating though. Like, I just it was just hard for me to keep eating a lot of food, especially food with high fat. So most of the time, I would try to buy fatty cuts of meat, but I mean to be honest, like I said, money kind of tight. So um, most days I would actually buy ground beef, and I'll just buy the fatty cuts of steaks or whatever when I can. So yeah, most of the week I'll eat like ground beef, depending how it's looking. During those days. And every time I eat the ground beef, I would also eat like the render fat that comes out of when you cook the beef. And every time I'll eat that, I'll feel like super full. Obviously, because that's what fat does. Yeah, it's a very satiating macronutrient, just like protein. However, though, it's satiating in a different way because supposedly when you eat, you're supposed to eat like a certain amount of fat for your hormones to like um, work and function properly. And when that happens, certain hormone signals will, start working correctly, like leptin and ghrelin, and like these are like the hormones that are involved with you either feeling satiated or feeling hunger. So every time I eat like a bunch of just rendered fat from the ground beef, I can never really finish the ground beef that I'll cook up because I'll feel so full. And so furthermore, like the longer I kept eating a lot of that rendered fat, well, a large amount of fat, I noticed that my stools would come loose, like diarrhea, and I started like having like green stools, um, kind of like what you get from like when you eat a lot of like vegetables, like spinach or like green vegetables, and your poop comes out green. But in my case, obviously that wasn't going on. I wasn't eating vegetables, and I looked into it, and there was actually some of the bile that was never like kind of emulsified in the digestive system that was like leaving, with my stool. So, I did more research and well, actually, first off, I didn't really think much of it. I thought I'd, try just like a transformation, like a transition that I was going through again. And so, I just kept doing what I was doing, eating the same foods, and incorporating organ meats or fatty cuts of steak when I can. And there was like a period of time where like it was like the diarrhea got worse, like worse, and it was constantly. And there was a couple nights where I had to wake up in the middle of the night because I had to go, handle my business. And at this point I was like, all right, I gotta, at least know what's going on, just so I could like be like okay with the idea that this is going on. Only because like something told me that it was something that I had to go through, or that I was like transitioning from or into from the carnivore diet. And I found like a video about like diarrhea on carnivore or whatever, and I listened to like other podcasts about talking about the transition phases in on carnivore, and one reason why the one will get diarrhea on carnivore is because from all the fat they're eating. If you eat like higher amounts of fat, that's usually when the diarrhea. It's like I like you say it's for being caused by. Um, the reason what that is because your body can't like digest all the fat that you're ingesting, and the reason why I can't do that because when you're like eating this large amount of fat, your body has to produce like more bile to keep up with the fat with the fat you're being digested with, you're digesting with. So um, I try to find like ways to kind of like counteract that. And there's a lot of what I found was using like medication or certain herbs that would, may help with the diarrhea. But the thing is, I wasn't really trying to spend more money on that, and I kind of looked into it more too, and they suggested like from the video I found is that you should lower your fat intake and gradually keep adding more fat until your body is able to handle it. It's able to adjust to the fat you're eating. So to me that made more sense to do. Kind of it was it was sounds like common sense to be honest. Because you obviously I noticed that a reason why I got like a large amount of like diarrhea was because there was one day where I was like fuck it, I was like super hungry and I just like ate all the rendered fat from the ground beef, like all of it. And next thing you know, that same night I got diarrhea. So I was like, okay, it's obviously it was the large amount of fat that I was eating, and I ingested it all at once without having my body to kind of like accustomed to like the amount of fat that I was like intaking. So I went back to like higher protein and not as much fat. I still try to go as high fat as I can, but I started listening to my body more, and I noticed that when I start feeling a little bit kind of full and to the point like I'm tired of eating the fat, that's when I know I hit my limit, and that's when I should stop. Because that's obviously my body's way of telling me that all right, you have enough fat, you've ingested enough fat, like you're done, you're good. Wait till the next day, you know. And I feel like it's all about just like taking it one day at a time and just pushing your body as much as you can, but not to the point where like you have an effect of like diarrhea, some other kind of like altercation. So I just want to share that experience with you all on that. And I don't want to say just try to fill your body out. Just try to listen to your body when it like wants to stop taking in fat or any other substance for that matter, and listen to it and just like be patient. A reason why I say patient because if you are experiencing some kind of problems on anxiety, it's going to take time for your body to kind of like go back to its like proper normal balance and adjust itself. It doesn't happen overnight. So just be patient and just kind of I want to say enjoy the process because it might be feeling bad or whatever, but just learn from the process. Learn what you're going through and just try to understand what's going on and take it day by day. And this also ties in with like the update on the 2-week carnivore again. I am starting to feel better, kind of feeling more energy. The last couple of weeks I've actually been having trouble eating, and not only that, like I will feel I feel like my body wasn't like eating to its full potential. But at the same time, like all the fat that I was trying to eat, I just couldn't like bear with it. I couldn't keep up with it. So, but now I'm starting to feel better. Starting to eat more, and I want to feed my body what it wants now. And since I have like autoimmune issues, I actually want to like say on the fact that I'm taking more recovery time towards myself. I made another video how I'm like making a new approach to like fixing my posture, or you could say like recovering myself, and I'm doing more swimming, more yoga. I'm not really lifting weights anymore. I feel like to see the best results from my like weightlifting is your posture gotta be in at its optimal best, and your health has to be in optimal best. If not, you won't really see much results. So that's why I'm taking this new approach, and I'm gonna let my body heal now. I feel like that's even more important now because of all my autoimmune issues and like nerve damage and rehabilitating my posture and arms. That's very important. My body needs more recovery and no more food. if I'm being honest. That's what I feel. And then what it needs to be, breaking down all the time and training all the time. It's a hard thing to do, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do what's best for your health and best for your body. So thank you for tuning in, and this is the Fast Life.